Keith's off to market to take some sheep. Unfortunately, you can't go with him because they don't like filming there. But we have got other things planned before we head home. Do you get it? What about this one? There's a mole in my bucket. And there's a hair in my soup. I'm all right. 12 of them. So they're going to be loaded into that.
How are you this morning?
Okay, I think, and you?
It's a nice
Ah,
morning,
it's still here.
It's going to be, isn't it? It'll be a nice day. Warms up just a bit, yeah.
Morning.
You sleep all right?
I did.
Ever stay upstairs? Nobody's upstairs.
I went up
Oh,
early this
right.
morning.
You
Yeah.
sounded very light-footed.
I'm trying my best.
So we're just going to load up the cull ewes off to market. I'm sitting in the trailer and going to skip to market today with them. I think there's 11 or 12 that are going. Not sure how far back Tom's coming. Looks like that's about it.
Trailers have to be clean when they go there.
Mhm.
They have to be clean when they go out, so you'll be cleaning out the trailer
Yep.
when you're there. That's the law.
Mhm.
To stop disease spread. It's all to stop disease spread. Right, you ready, Tom? Yeah. You ready? Okay. Okay. Right, young ladies.
Come on, girls.
Hello, ladies. Yeah. Right, Tiddlers.
Come on, girls. Up you go. Somebody go on.
Needs one to go up.
Look, Gio. Gio. Go.
Yes. Nice and quiet. Not upsetting. First time they've left home.
Oh, great.
So they're just setting off now. These are older sheep. so they'll be ought to be bought for meat. And that's them gone.
Okay, lads. Come on, lads. There you go. Good boy. That's a good boy. Come on, lads. Off you go.
Thank you.
Come on, lads. Hi, gentlemen.
We're on our way home now, and we've just come back into Haworth because we're going to have some lunch and have a wander around. This is the Black Bull Inn, and this inn was frequented by Patrick Branwell Bronte, the only son of Reverend Patrick Bronte, incumbent of Haworth. In 1883 he was made secretary of the Freemasons' Lodge at the Three Graces in number 408, which met at this inn. And he's the brother of the Bronte sisters. Time for lunch though, and we're having Yorkshire pasty.
Straight out the oven, something hot.
That's lunch done, so we'll just have a quick wander up to the church now to tell you some information about a couple of graves in there that we both had on our phones, but I've left my phone in the van.
And my phone's died.
We're good us vloggers, aren't we?
And see what we can remember.
We are going to go into the church if it's open. Whenever we come to Haworth, there's always yapping dogs. Thank you. Well, this is the main reason we've come in here. The father who brought up Charlotte, Emily and Anne Bronte. And he was the Reverend here. And this is the Bronte Memorial Chapel. In memory of Maria, wife of the Reverend P. Bronte, Minister of Haworth. Age 39, so she was young. Maria, their daughter.
Elizabeth, their daughter. It's the whole family, isn't it? Oh, a lot of the family.
Most of the family, I think. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Elizabeth, their daughter. Patrick, their son.
Anne was buried at the old church in Scarborough.
Charlotte.
But their dad, their father, was the minister of Haworth, this church, for upwards of 41 years. This is a 17th century communion table. It's a Monday at the moment. I think we've come on the right day because it's quiet. At the weekends, this place gets so busy with tourists. We've come into the churchyard, the graveyard now. And this is a plan of where the Bronte graves are, and also Tabby's grave. Tabitha Aykroyd, or Tabby as she was known, was the Bronte family's faithful servant for 30 years. And she worked for them from 1825 until her death at the age of 84 in 1853. A disproportionate amount of people died very young in Haworth, mainly because of disease. Because at one point the graves leaked and the leakage got into the water system, and that happened for a few years, and so people drank the water and became ill and died, which meant more burials, which meant more death. So it was self-perpetuating. We're looking for 2 graves in here. Whether we'll find them or not, I'm not sure. One is supposedly the last highwayman hung in England. He used to sit in the Black Bull pub where we were before. Well, not where we were before, that we pointed out before. And he'd sit in there drinking and listening to all the rich people from around boasting about their wealth when they'd had a few drinks, and then he'd rob them. He was finally found, arrested, and hung in York, and then his body brought back here to be buried. And another grave is the grave of a young woman who died on the moors near the town. She was a London girl, and she was a parachutist who used to put on shows, and I think it was the Haworth show was on, and she was jumping from a hot air balloon, and no one actually knows whether she deliberately released a harness because she couldn't swim and she had a fear of water, and the parachute went off course and it was going to land in a nearby reservoir. So some people believe that she decided that she would rather hit the ground rather than parachute into the water and hope to survive. But others say that it was a deliberate suicide. But her father was in jail, a renowned drunkard who was often jailed, and he was jailed in London. But the man who managed the young lady, who was a parachute artist, as she was called, he paid for her father to be released from jail so he could be transported up here for a funeral and then transported back to jail down in London. Whether we'll find the graves of the two we just mentioned, I'm not sure. This is the old school rooms, or the old school room. And Patrick Bronte built this school for the children of Haworth. Charlotte Bramwell, Emily and Anne all taught here. And it's also the site of Charlotte Bronte's wedding reception in 1854. And this is a parsonage museum that you can go in. Say it's a Monday. It's not open on a Monday. Wandered back into the graveyard now just to have one more look to see if we can find either or both of the graves, but I'm not holding out much hope. No luck, I'm afraid, for you. Well, there's a church in all its glory. Well, just found the grave of the highwayman, and it is just a simple mark that's looks like it's been renewed. It's not a gravestone as such, but JS 1796. And apparently there used to be a sign on this fence here. In fact, you can see where it was, giving a little bit of information about him. We'll have to put that in the description below, so make sure you have a read of the description. Because the information that I was going to tell you about him was here from photographs that I've seen. So we have found one of the graves. But as for the other one, I'm not sure. There used to be a sign there. Well, this gentleman's just putting one back on, so which is very handy for us. Gentleman's going to tell us about the grave.
Yes, this is the where the last highwayman to be hanged is buried, and there's a sign here that tells you all about it.
You saying you uncovered it?
We uncovered it a year or two back. We were cleaning graveyard up and we managed to uncover it, me and my friend.
All right.
What we try and do is keep this bottom graveyard all tidy, but obviously
Well,
with
it's
leaves,
autumn, yeah.
you know,
yeah.
we'll have to wait till they've all dropped off and then
Yeah.
come over again.
Well,
So,
I'm glad we found you. Thank you.
Yeah, fine, thanks. We're white clock as well.
All right.
Me and my mate white clock and all.
Yeah.
Twice a week.
Right.
And somebody else helps us, so it's spot on just about.
Brilliant. Lovely.
It's about 7 seconds fast, or slow, 7 seconds slow I think, but it's not so bad.
No, it's not, is it? All right then. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll let you read that then.
So, it was the grave of a man was hanged for sheep stealing. The burial register records the interment on the 3rd of April 1796 of James Sutcliffe, a married man who died at York. And contemporary York newspapers reveal something of a story behind these bare records. Mr. Justice Heath, sitting at the Lenton Assizes, heard the case of James Sutcliffe, alias Smith, alias Freeman, who feloniously assaulted one John Wignall on the King's Highway in the West Riding. Mr. Wignall was put in bloody fear of his life. Bodily fear, sorry. And was robbed of a parcel containing 6 guineas and some notes and bills. Sutcliffe, along with 9 other miscreants, was condemned to death. 6 of these men were later reprieved, but Sutcliffe was hanged on Saturday, 2nd of April 1796 at the Tyburn gallows at York. So he was the last highwayman to be hanged in this country.
And if you don't know what a guinea is, that's something that, well, you knew anyway, didn't you?
Knew.
But I found out this weekend from Judith
The auction.
and Tom and the auctions and whatever. A guinea is £1 and a shilling,
Which is £1 and 5p now.
in new money. Well, we say new money since the 70s. So, and of course, it wouldn't be a Campervan Tales video, would it, without us getting something wrong. So, the parachutist isn't in this graveyard, she's in another nearby graveyard, so we don't know how close it is. Cemetery Road, so we'll see whether we've got time to have a wander to that. We'll wander now to see whether we can find Cemetery Road or whether it's going to be a drive. Nice old cobbled road here though. So we've driven up to the other cemetery now, so hopefully we'll find the grave. So I was just walking along. I've just said to you that we're going looking for this grave now, and gentleman pulled up and he says, "I recognise you." So nice to shake hands again. Nice to meet you. So you watch all the channel?
I do, yeah. I follow them all.
Thank you.
Literally, I mean, there'll only be 1 or 2 that I won't have seen. Really, yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And just stumbled across you by
Nab.
chance, like it does, you know.
Snap. Yeah.
You know, with
That's
these
brilliant.
algorithms.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stumbled across you years ago, literally.
right,
Yeah. And then.
And where are you based?
I'm in Halifax.
All right.
So I work with insurance business, so I'm just going across to Blackpool now. So I come over at Tops and literally driving down there.
Nab.
Clocked you straight away.
Nab.
Nab, get in.
Oh, brilliant. Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
really
Well,
good to-
this one, we're way behind, aren't we?
Yeah.
So this one's probably going to be November, December before it's out. So,
Right, yeah, I can
yeah,
imagine.
but yeah.
It's November now, tomorrow.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Oh, of course. December, January then.
So, are you still enjoying all travelling around?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do like it when that happens, and we meet people who watch us, and they take the time to stop and say hello. I was just walking along that road, as you saw, and Keith was moving the van a little bit closer, and he just said, "I know you." I thought he was just stopping to ask directions. He said, "I know you." So it was nice to have a chat with him. Anyway, here are the graves. So, we'll see whether we can find this one that we're looking for, or the one that we're looking for. It took a bit of searching for, but we found it. In loving memory of Elizabeth Mary, Miss Lily Cove, parachutist, daughter of Thomas Charles Cove of London, who died June 11th, 1906, aged 21 years. So, we've got the Google information up. There's an engraving of her parachute, or a parachute.
So, in the event, the balloon ascended to 700 feet, and about 7:45 p.m. Lily jumped. Her parachute opened as planned, and she descended to 100 feet. It was at this stage that Robert Rushworth of Stanbury, who was monitoring her progress, observed her shrugging her shoulders out of the safety harness for no apparent reason, as she neared Pondon Reservoir, which is just over there, isn't it?
Yeah, up on the moors over there.
In doing so, she detached herself from her parachute and plummeted to the ground head first, landing in a field near the reservoir.
At the bottom of the gravestone, it says, "Erected by public subscription in the midst of life." And then there'll be something underneath that. In the midst of life, we are in death.
At the inquest at Haworth, a number of reasons for her death were speculated on, one including the fact that she had taken her own life. No evidence was presented that affirmed this as a reason. Just reading through it. She had deliberately separated herself from the parachute because she was drifting towards Pondon Reservoir, and as a non-swimmer had an absolute fear of water. Consequently, she decided to escape the possibility of drowning by loosening herself from the parachute, whilst also probably misjudging that she was nearer the ground than she was. And it was a verdict of death by misadventure.
It was it Haworth Show? Or
I don't know.
I think it said it at some point. But just another little bit of history that we found when we were having a look at things to see in the area that we thought might be of interest to you.
Yeah, the Haworth Gala. But as Darryl said, took some finding. We walked round the graveyard. It's really by the entrance.
We actually said, I don't think we're going to... Well, I said, I don't think we're going to have any luck here. And then Keith said, there it is. Time to head home.
Mm-hmm.
Just walking back to the van now, and the reservoir is actually, well, I'll wander over and show you. It's only just down there. Thought it was further up on the moor at the moment, but the reservoir is just there. It's not like Herdwick's. So we're going to end this video with going along with the country, well, one of the top lanes, I suppose. So what happened at Market?
Well, we just dropped off the cool views. We had a look round, we had a coffee, a natter to some of Tom's friends, other farmers, catch up on the gossip. Then we had a look at some of the calves that were going through the auction. We didn't stay for his because that was going to be later on this afternoon.
But they were guaranteed that they'd sell, weren't they?
Yes, they were cull ewes, so they would just go at any price for slaughter. And that was about it, really. Came back and learned a bit more about sheep farming off Tom, and just general nattered. So yeah,
You're also saying
morning.
that he met Princess Anne when she was saying about she opened the market.
Yeah, she opened Skipton Market. It was about 30 years ago. But they met Princess Anne at a vet do that Judith was at, and she asked them where they were from. She said, "Where do you sell your sheep or stock?" And he said, "Skipton." She said, "Oh, I opened that about 10 years ago." And she was asking about how it was doing, and obviously remembered doing it. It wasn't just a sort of a turn up and cut the red ribbon and go. She actually took an interest in it, so yeah, it was quite good. But it was a huge place. Yeah, it was a huge place. Well, purpose built for all livestock. So yeah,
I was sat having coffee with Judith, and she was saying that it is such a big market that on a day like today, it could still be going on at 7 PM tonight. It's still so much. Anyway, with that's the end of the video. We're on our way home. That's another little adventure we've done and enjoyed, and been hosted very well by Judith and Tom. Been nice to spend some time with Pip, and we will see you on another video soon. Bye.
bye.